Instagram and TikTok look nothing like television. Let me explain. If Entrepreneur Magazine right now on its Instagram or TikTok posted, you were not reaching your followers on Instagram completely like email. You were putting content into the interest graph. And there will be hundreds, hopefully for you millions, of humans who will see the content based on what we have shown the platform we tend to be interested in. You are eliminating the potential of consideration by not making content that will find its potential audience. We are no longer in social media, Jason. Interest media is here. Social media is dead.
Gary Vaynerchuk, a man who needs no introduction when talking in the world of entrepreneurship. You bring me news today, don't you?
I do have some news. It's funny. A lot of people see me as a public figure or speaker, or motivational speaker, or author, or content creator, but I've been very feverishly building a very large marketing agency, holding company, and we're growing up over here.
Yeah, you sure are. And I know that there's some big news. Actually, wait, you know what? Before we even get to it, can I just pick up on that thing that you just said there? Because people know you as, they know you for your personality. They know you for your influence, let's say, and they don't necessarily know that you've built this incredible marketing agency. Something that I have noticed about the people who succeed the most in the world of content and ideas, and I want to say this to you to hear you react to it, they're not actually often content first people like me. I came up making content in magazines. They're actually marketing people. They're people who understand how to connect with audiences and then figured out how to build great content.
And I would say for me personally, I'm also an operator, right? Before anyone who knew who I was on earth, I was a child, literally a teenager who started the process of building the largest wine store in the country. That's like real life. That happened. And then obviously, Vayner X, my holding company, started with Vayner Media. We're about to talk about my beloved small business agency, Sasha Group, being rebranded to Chuck Media. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I mean, it's not gonna be long before I ping you and say, hey, do you want to talk about Vayner X doing $500 million in revenue? We're on the doorstep. And that's humbling to be very frank. For a guy who has a lot of ambitions and bravado, like we've built one of the largest independent advertising agencies in the history of the industry, Mad Men, in the history of the industry, from like the most improbable angle. Like literally, here comes a kid. I was 34, so I don't know. I think I was a kid, but I'll be respectful that not everyone thinks that. Here comes a guy who's making wine videos on the internet, and he puts a flag in the ground that he's going to build a big advertising agency. Jason, I caught a lot of flack on Twitter. And the ad magazines were not kind about Wine Boy, Madison Avenue, and yet here we are 15 years later, and it happened.
Do you think that's because the fundamentals of growing that wine business are not actually all that different than the fundamentals of building any other brand?
Yes, comma.
Mm-hmm.
I built Wine Library because I was such a good marketer and I was a good operator and salesman, but I and like a good guy and had good retention of employees, all things that I used for Vayner. But what Vayner Media is that you had a human that was outflanking everyone in contemporary marketing in the 90s and early 2000s when it was website, email, Google search, blogging. I built a firm that did contemporary marketing. Madison Avenue still does not do contemporary marketing. I've been doing this for 15 years. And now the day of reckoning is here. The people that are television commercial first, classic marketing, traditional first, the ones that are yesterday's digital marketing first are being upended, feeling the pain, to the social first agencies, and we're the largest of that.
Well, then that's a good tee up for the actual news. So you said it a moment ago, but really unpack it here. So you've had this company, the Sasha Group, which has been focused on small business marketing, and it's being rebranded and also refocused. So tell me what's going on and tell me why.
There's so much demand for Vayner Media. It starts to get too big where it becomes not there's a lot of corporate. This is just very nerdy, but luckily this is why I think you're the right.
Yeah, we can nerd out right here, right now.
In the right place. This is business nerdy. Look, we're operators and we're strategizing, and keeping so many brands under one roof is like challenging and has all different dynamics. it's kind of like sometimes you need to lose 15 pounds to get like tight. Like the concept of Chuck Media being another agency that's going to be just as big as VaynerMedia. Look, I'm no genius. This was done a long time ago. WPP and Omnicom and IPG and Publicis, they have many agencies that look similar-ish with subtle different strategies. And they've built very large holding companies and are all publicly traded. And we're building the next great, big, large, massive holding company. And Chuck Media is the next piece of that puzzle, a place where Fortune 500 brands can get the best contemporary marketing, and a place where I can elevate a lot of my great talent. There's a lot of kids in VaynerMedia that I think are ready for the prime time, but we're big. And so it gets a little corporate and it gets a little slower to get promoted. And so a lot of opportunity for people to flourish in Chuck Media, and just allows us to go to where I want to go to. I want to have the advertising agency that does billions and billions and billions in revenue as a holding company. And you need more than one or two agencies to do that. And so here we are.
All right. So we've got the Sasha Group, which used to focus on small business. It's being rebranded as Chuck Media, and it's going enterprise. So now you're going large. And there are two things that I want to understand from you. Number one is why the move away from small business there. And then number two is you keep saying the word scrappy. And in the announcement that came out from your company about this, it emphasizes over and over again nimbleness, that we're going to bring a startup attitude to these enterprise brands. So that tells me that there's something, even though you're moving away from small business, there's something about the nimbleness and scrappiness of small business that you think large brands are missing right now that you want to bring to them. Can you unpack that?
I can, sir. Number one,
yeah,
I'm a small business guy. So, stay by for another text or email from us. Like, you might have another exclusive soon, because I am strategically doing this because it's what I need to do. Mm-hmm. I have more deal flow and opportunity in SMB than I do in enterprise. So this is a strategic move to set up my next chess move. So we'll see how that plays out. And honestly, because I really do adore you and I just want to give it to you, I actually have 3 different things I'm working on that could scratch the itch of the SMB world. I'll have to figure out here over the next 6 to 12 months what I want to do. Yeah. So that's that.
All right. Well, you know who to call.
On the scrappy part, brother, I would say that, yeah, it's just, I'm even laughing because whatever the comms team wrote you, A, I don't even know what it is. B, it's just so in our ether. Even, VaynerMedia itself has more of an entrepreneurial spirit than your average Fortune 500 massive company. This is not lost on you. Every company takes the DNA of his or hers founder, right? Like, I am who I am. Like, it is what it is. I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now that has a picture of the sweater my mom knitted me because my family couldn't afford a $25 Jets jersey, and my mom didn't want me to feel left out when I was playing football outside in Edison, New Jersey. I am who I am. And yeah, look, don't forget, I'm sure not lost on you, Vayner Chuck, right? Like, this is the extension of my last name that I'm very proud of and want to honor. And these are, at some level, they're identical twins, and in some levels, they're twins that don't look identical. What is that called again? Fraternal.
Yeah. Fraternal twins.
So, I think that's how I think about it, and I'm excited about it.